I was about to go to Home Depot this morning to get some flowers. Figure we pretty this place up a little bit, maybe make it smell a little better. And I was thinking about that cybersecurity analyst position we found the other day was a really great position. But I wanted to check back and see if there were any other openings that we could find for you guys. And I thought this one was very interesting for a few reasons, right? So this one is going to have more qualifications that you need to actually get the position. But the reason I wanted to highlight, sorry if I just gave anybody motion sickness there. Okay, there we go. The reason I wanted to highlight this position is to give you a different outlook and maybe strategy on how you look for applying to jobs and, how you actually perform your job search, right? So the last position, if you are new to this channel or this is the first time you're watching a video on our channel, about 2 days ago, I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, about 2 days ago, we highlighted a cybersecurity analyst position for Home Depot. It was work from home. The qualifications were pretty low. Definitely had the look of an entry-level position that a lot of people could qualify for. So it was a great job. Started about probably $55K and went up to $75K if you had a little bit more experience. But the reason I wanted to highlight the Cybersecurity Manager job, right, is because this is how you might want to start looking at jobs when you start applying and searching for your new career. So when we go to the cybersecurity, let's take a step back, right? So a few days ago, like we said, we highlighted that cybersecurity analyst position. The thing that you might also want to check out when you're looking at positions is also try to piece together what the next step looks like in the company, right? Does the next position pay well? And things of that nature. So don't only search the job that you are applying to, search the next job that you think would be the next step in your career. So if you're a cybersecurity analyst, a few years from now, you're probably going to want to be a cybersecurity manager. Now, this helps for a few reasons when you actually search these positions. One, you want to see your income, right? That's what we go to work for. We want to see what the income is so that we can kind of plan around that. And we also want to see the qualifications so that we can start seeing what skills we need to see what skills we need to build in order to get that next position. So taking a look at jobs and careers in the future is also a great idea when you're actually doing your job search. And we just found the Cybersecurity Manager role. This is also remote. And the salary estimate for this one is between $130,000 and $170,000. And I wanted to highlight this because this is what you need to work for, guys. Right? When we talk about jobs versus careers, we would define a job as maybe, right, you're not really building anything. You're kind of just there for the paycheck. When you start building a career, you have a history of work that correlates with each other, and you keep building on skills to develop and obtain higher paid positions. Right, so for example, let's say for a job, maybe I worked I was a customer service representative for United Health Group. Then I took another job at Liberty Mutual as a customer service representative again. And then I also took a job as a customer service representative for Nike, right? You're not building a whole lot of experience in an industry, and you're not advancing in your career, and that's what you would kind of call a job, right? Once you start developing a career, you're developing industry knowledge, you're developing skills that are relevant to this career, and you're advancing through. You're trying to build on something, right? So we're kind of showing you a little bit of a career path here. Cybersecurity analyst, great. Now what's the next step? And you don't want to really be waiting for this. Once you get into that cybersecurity analyst role, you want to be planning your next step, right? Even if you don't get that next role for 2 to 3 years from now, you want to see what the requirements are for these positions so that you can plan ahead and start knocking out the requirements so that once this position does open, boom, you can go apply to it. Okay, so let's take a look specifically at this role. Cybersecurity Manager. Again, this pays about $130,000 to $170,000. I know right here it says $170,000 to $220,000. I do believe that might be a little generous. It's possible that a senior manager or a director might get that, and that might be conflating the number. But I do believe a cybersecurity manager, you'll probably be comfortably in $130,000 to $170,000. If anybody has experience with that and you have a thought, drop it in the comments. Good for everybody to get some knowledge. But my personal guess is $130,000 to $170,000. Maybe with bonuses and stock incentives and things like that, you'll get to $170,000 to $220,000. Just for those of you who don't know out there, typically when you become a manager, especially at a bigger company like Home Depot that's publicly traded, they will also offer you stock-based incentives. So, for example, you might be a manager at Home Depot, and if you accept the position, they might say, okay, your base salary is $130,000. You'll have $10,000 in cash incentives, and we'll also give you $30,000 in stock incentives, right? So at this point in your career, you're more of you're not technically an officer of the company, but you're a very big influencer in the company to the point where you can impact the stock price. And that's why you start getting stocks, right? They want you to be more invested. So let's go over this position a little bit more. You're going to have 6 to 10 reports, and you're going to report to a senior manager or director. Okay, you can think of these two things as the same. If you report to a senior manager, they're probably going to be a director at some point. They're going to be performing relatively the same functions, and they're really just waiting to earn their stripes to get that director promotion. Okay, we can see here that for Connecticut, Nevada, and New York City residents, the pay range for this position is between $170,000 and $220,000. Again, this may be true. If it is, I will be pleasantly surprised for anybody out there that applies to it. I would hold off and think maybe you're going to get a little bit lower. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Okay. And it looks like as far as requirements go, guys, I don't think this is that bad. I think this is very obtainable. I'm high on Home Depot lately. Not to go off on a sidetrack here, but if you are in the STEM-related careers, especially software engineers, Home Depot looks like they're on a hiring surge for software engineers, so check out their career page. Back to the job, though. Okay, so what we want to do here, if you were applying to this position, you have some experience managing folks. One thing I do believe that managers don't highlight a ton on their resumes and just on their LinkedIns and things like that, developing talent. Right, that's a really hard. It's very difficult to find managers and senior leadership out there that is actually capable and really well versed in actually being able to develop talent on their own team. Highlight that on your resume. Okay, you're going to be having 6 to 10 direct reports. Home Depot and most companies want to see people moving up through the ranks. That means that they hired the right people, and they don't have to go outbound to actually pull and recruit candidates for other positions. They can hire internally. It saves a bunch of money. So definitely, if you can prove that you're actually great at training folks and developing talent, that's an underrated thing to put on your resume. If some of your direct reports have moved on to managerial positions, maybe one of the FANG companies, maybe they received a couple awards at the company that you work at now, these would be great things to highlight. If you're somebody that's looking to move up to the manager ranks, what you want to do is you want to reverse engineer these job posts so that you can set goals for yourself so that you can hit this eventually, right? So if you're somebody out there that right now that's a cybersecurity analyst, you want to look at this position and say, okay, what do I need to do to qualify for this in the future? This is a big one. Okay, this is a really, really big one. And you might be saying, okay, well, how can I gain experience managing 6 to 10 people if I'm not in a position of managing anybody? The next time someone new comes on your team, volunteer to help onboard them. You can definitely put that on your resume. If you can volunteer at any nonprofits in your area and manage a team in any sort of way, that's also a great way to gain some experience managing people, right? Typically, there are two paths that you can go in your career. You can be an independent contributor, which means that you're not managing people. You work on projects independently. And then there are people managers. The money tends to be with people managers, right? Once you have to start managing 6 to 10 folks, right? We saw that the cybersecurity analysts at Home Depot get paid, let's just call it $70,000. You're managing up to $700,000 on your team, right? That's a large investment, plus healthcare, plus stock incentives. You're talking over $1 million easily. Okay. Furthermore, on this position, you have to be 18 or older, must be in the United States. You need about 8 years of relevant work experience. That sounds like a lot, but if you think of your typical college grad, right, maybe you graduate when you're 21 through 23. So once you hit about 29 through 31, that's probably the typical ballpark of when you're going to see people applying to these positions. You do need a bachelor's degree. Okay, so I know there are a lot of other channels out there that are telling you, you're going to conquer the world without a degree. You're going to notice something on our channel. We do not really advertise contract positions and other jobs that some other creators do, because they don't really help you build wealth, and that's really the entire point of going to work. So really, once you start getting into really good paying remote careers, you're probably going to need a bachelor's degree at some point, unless you want to be on the phones. If you are someone that's looking to get off the phones and work remotely and get paid well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're going to need a bachelor's degree at some point. Okay? Back to the job again, though. I keep getting sidetracked. I'm just getting excited, I guess. Getting excited to go get my flowers at Home Depot. Okay, but years of relevant experience. You need 8 years of experience. Again, this is give or take. If you have 6 or 7 years, but you still kind of hit all these other things, still throw an application in. Who knows? Maybe they're hiring multiple people. They look like they're hiring a lot of folks right now. And then additional qualifications. They want leadership experience. Again, remember when you're applying to things, this is a wish list, right? Most managers and directors, they know that they're not going to get everything. So definitely, if you come close to hitting all these things but not quite, still throw an application in. I mean, even if you just get an interview, you can maybe ask some questions and gain some knowledge about the position and how they hire. So in the future, you can come back and also get this job. But that's all we're going to cover today, guys. So we will chapter this so that you don't have to watch all 13 minutes. But this is a great job. Again, they're saying between 170,000 and 220. So I guess we'll go with that. I believe if that is true, I'm going to guess they're including a lot of stock incentives and things like that. So do not think that that's going to be your base salary necessarily. I believe your base salary will probably be 130 to 170. Okay. Take care. If you have any questions about this or any career-related questions, let us know in the comments. Again, I am not a financial advisor, so please don't take any of that with too seriously, I guess. But again, for the folks, I will leave this on this message. Any other YouTube channels that are telling you that you're going to be making a ton of money with no degree, and they're going to make your $35 an hour, you should be suspicious. Okay, I've worked in corporate America for about 10 years. I've worked remotely for about 10 years. It's very rare that we have a position that pays super well and does not require a bachelor's degree. Okay, so this would be something, we're going to cover this in a video this week, how to actually get a great job and build a career remotely and not just keep piecing together these jobs. So keep an eye out for that. Come back to this video and we will link it. We will speak to you soon. Take care.